Welcome to this channel. The channel is for education and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. So today I like to share with you on Bruce Lee. So what happened is in the past 2 weeks, I've been sharing these 3 YouTubes. And that rise up many questions and many conversations with me. And Bruce Lee is a topic which is surface. That's why I like to share with you today on Bruce Lee, because most people don't understand Bruce Lee. And in Wing Chun, people just doing whatever opposite from Bruce Lee. So I'm going to share with you on that. Another thing come up is there are some Wing Chun friends in the West question me on how come I pissed off the entire world, okay? And like I lost all my Wing Chun friends and so forth. So I'm going to share with you what is going on. So put it in records. Now, so first, before we share on Bruce Lee, because those are really detailed, in-depth stuff, I like to share with you on this piece of the entire world, because somebody saying that I pissed off the entire Wing Chun world and so forth, so forth. And usually when people ask me those questions, I just keep quiet. But lately I send them this song, this Chinese song. And I just keep that's it. So I just send this Chinese song. Some understand what I'm talking, some don't, okay? So this is the song I send to people when they say, well, Hendrik, you pissed off everybody, you are fake, you're a snake oil seller, blah, blah, blah. So I send this to them. Today, I want to share with you, why do I send this to them, okay? And what happened with this piece of the entire world thing. So put it in record forever. If you go listen to this song, one part of a relic say, let me wear white clothes and walk through a madman's alley to catch moonlight in the quagmire. And then he said, I hope you forgive me. If you have any questions or any hint, I understand. And I don't want to pretend. The people are looking for the land of gold, such as fame and money and title. I'm looking for the moon. So why go together? So those who like to go for the fame and the gold, they can go their way. I go my way because I am looking for the moon. Okay? So did I piss off everybody in the world? No, I'm not interested in looking for the land of gold. I'm looking for the moon. Because I decide, after look at the pro and con, it is better to tell the truth. Now, on this pissing off of the entire world, where my Wing Chun friends and everything left me within like 2 months, is before the fight of Xi Xiaodong and Ding Hao. Okay? So what happened is at that time, Xi Xiaodong have already KO'd the Tai Chi Lei Lei. I was in Asia, in China and in Asia. So after left China, a friend make an appointment for me with everybody meeting in Kung Fu, Chinese Kung Fu associations. So I was there. And I've been straight saying that if Wing Chun putting the weight at the back, then there's a serious problem. I just said that. Okay. And right away, one of the officers stood up. Okay, and in that association, you have many style. So one of the person who is the officer stood up and say, "It is just because you don't understand Wing Chun," and he walked out. Well, for the Asia in China, this is actually really rude, right? And after that, everybody is not on my side. My Wing Chun friends left, and there are people who in that city like be friends with me for a few weeks, but when they come back to America, they left me too, and they had their all kinds of stories in history and everything and so forth, so they left. Well, this trigger of what 2018 February, I released my Wing Chun Matrix with everybody left. And then guess what? March 2018, about a month after I released this Wing Chun Matrix, you got the fight between Xi Xiaodong and Ding Hao. Everybody know what is the outcome. And then later you can hear about Xi Xiaodong make fun of Wing Chun. Well, so I am looking for the moon. I'm not looking for money or fame or become buddy and we all grandmaster. You got a war, man. If you don't protect your people, you're going to send your man out there, get crushed. So of course, after Xi Xiaodong's incident until today, everybody keep quiet. You see, nobody said anything unless in this channel, I tell you that this is right for Xi Xiaodong is wrong here. Why? It is about moon. It is about the Chinese culture. It's serious stuff. Now, then, of course, you guys might ask me, well, why are you so how to say that, so crazy that you say this kind of thing? Well, you know why? If you read Wing Chun Matrix, the first page, what it said, the descriptions of momentum handling in ancient Chinese martial art can be found in 1560, Ming Dynasty General Qi Jiguang. So, standing on the shoulder of Qi Jiguang, you can see what is going on. You know those stuff like the Wing Chun putting back, your body weight on your back leg, you know is disaster. 460 years ago is already analyzed there. Okay? So that's why I go ahead and release this disregard of who say what. So it is not my opinion. It is the reality of Chinese martial arts. So do I get mad at those who left me and everything? No. Why? Because we are having different goals. My goal is just to understand what is Chinese culture. So why do I want to understand what is Chinese culture? I was there in Indonesia, 1965, in the anti-Chinese riot. I'm 6 years old. I saw what happened there. And I want to know, what is my Chinese culture? Okay? So that's what I want. I don't care for what this fame and all this thing. That's why, again, I say that, let me wear white clothes and walk through a madman's alley to catch the moonlight in the quagmire. That's who I am. It's go straight, okay? Now, if you really study Chinese culture, like have the Chinese educations, this teaching in the classic is from the emperor of Tang Dynasty. So what is the Tang Dynasty? Tang Dynasty is about 1,200 years ago. Tang Dynasty, China, is like today's United States of America. Japanese can come to China, become an official in the government, okay? Women can be emperor. Women can be emperor. All religions of the world can come to China. You see that that's why the India, the Buddhists, all the Buddhism's, the scripture go translate in China. The emperor support that. And then the Chinese Zen monk went to Japan and teaching the Japanese on Zen, Korea, and you have a different religion in Tang Dynasty. That's how it is. 1,200 years ago. So at that time, the emperor had this classic. Okay, here this classic is called Zhen Guan Zhen Yao. And Zhen Guan Zhen Yao, the emperors, the classic. Over here, he said that a good emperor always thought about his weakness, and thus he got benefit from all the ideas or comments on him or critics. A poor emperor, a bad emperor, always cover up his shortage or his weakness. That's why he always kept in the dark. So here is a very simple. Using copper as a mirror, you can straighten your clothes. Like you want to dress up, you use the mirror to look at yourself. Using history as a mirror, you can understand the rise and fall of a dynasty. You can predict that. Because a lot of things in history is kind of repeat in this, there's a pattern there. And then it says, using people as a mirror, you can understand your own gain and losses. This is the teaching. So where do I learn this? Where did I learn this thing? I learned this in Hanjiang High School, Penang, Malaysia. I was born in Indonesia. Indonesia completely banned on Chinese language because I'm the elder grandson. I was sent to Penang, Malaysia. And at that time, I studied in Hanjiang High School. And that high school actually is built by a really, really great man who started really poor too. That's another story of Hanjiang High School. Okay. So that is Chinese culture. Okay. So I'm saying this. I'm saying all those in Asia, in those in everybody's place in the the martial arts association. It's not to talk about other than Chinese culture, Chinese martial art. You are in danger now if you don't see what you're going to face. So right now it's 2024, 2018 until Qi Xiaodong fought the Wing Chun guys until today. You see what it is. So that is whatever I do, I never afraid of being exposed under the sun because it's not me, it's culture. There are a lot of Chinese in this world who want to know who they are, especially those in Southeast Asia. And also this apply to all races, all skin color, all races. What I go through teach me on how to respect people. We need to take everybody as equal. Okay. So in today's term, truth is in the historical and scientific evidence side, not in your side, my side, any grandmaster or best fighter or who can beat whose side. Others, not your side, my side, I'm the older side, best fighter side, and whatever I can beat your side. Those can even have a rational discourse. You can even start a rational discourse like in this headquarter of Chinese martial arts in the city, in this famous city in Asia. It can't even have a rational discourse. How can it be any truth? I'm a design engineer. I'm a design director before. If people talk about in my design review, say that Hendrik, there's a problem here. Right away, I would say, I want to know what it is. Please tell me, share with me more. He could be right, he could be wrong. If he is right, I need to change. If he is wrong, I still need to tell myself to avoid problem. That is how it is the teaching I learned in Hanjiang High School when I was in a teenager. That's Chinese culture. Okay. Truth is never supremacy, but equality and compassionate for all. It is not using truth to pound at other people. It is never like that. So it is saying it so that everybody know. It's like if a thing can cause problem in say in kitchen, the gas can explode if you do that. That need to tell everybody, or else is everybody going down there. Okay, that's truth. It's not using for supremacy, for selling money. So here on, everybody know why I piss everybody off. Do I intend to piss everybody off? or I just talk straight. And if you cannot take it, then it is not my issue. It is just you and me walk a different path. Okay? And as a Chinese descendant, even I'm American, as a Chinese descendant, I have to defend my culture. And I will defend other people's culture too, because we are American. In America, we have different races. We want to defend everybody's culture. There's respect and defend. Not only just Chinese, right? If you're from different culture, like Hispanic culture, like Japanese culture, Korean culture, and every different culture, we're going to defend it, right? Because this is the proper way how human behave. Okay, so it's just this simple. And of course, when nobody support you, then for many people will be, hey, you know, because they walk out from Hendrik, I'll walk out from Hendrik too. Well, for me, it's okay. Why? Because General Qi Jiguang is always with me. That's enough. Okay. Now let's talk about Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee is actually a very great guy, a great person, a very talented, great person. The issue is he was born in 60 years ago. Bruce Lee's outlook and many details in technical is actually beyond his time. However, that's 60 years ago. Whatever is in his mind is beyond most Chinese at that time. Most Chinese at that time. Okay. And so let's look into Bruce Lee, and so we can learn with it. Learn with him. He's a talented guy. He's no God. He has his strength and he has a weakness, but we can learn with him because he put his entire life on it. And so we must learn as much from what the life of Bruce Lee. Okay. Now, let's start with this. Everybody see this. Bruce Lee say that Wing Chun is land swimming. Wing Chun is land swimming. And over here, he said that he's not going to waste time to practice sets of form. This is from a Chinese YouTube. You know, you have 88.8K of followers. Okay, so this is like the fan of Xi Xiaodong and the fan of gonna dig out whatever bad thing on the Chinese do. So this is digging out. Even Bruce Lee is saying that Wing Chun is land swimming. But you need to understand Bruce Lee. What is the depth, the content? Why Bruce Lee saying that Wing Chun is land swimming? You need to know why. Instead of just being parrot. Oh, Bruce Lee said Wing Chun is land swimming. Why is Wing Chun land swimming? Why? Why Bruce Lee say that? Can we find out why? Well, most people don't find out why. Because most people is busy telling Bruce Lee stories and whatever, but not get deep inside to say what actually Bruce Lee think. Instead of people talk about Bruce Lee stories and and want to mimic Bruce Lee. So can we find out what's Bruce Lee thing? Well, it turns out that we can. Yes, we can. This is Bruce Lee's phone interview with Alex Block, 1972. From this interview, okay, go check it out. From this interview, you can actually listen to him direct, Bruce Lee direct, his own words on what is in his mind, what is his outlook. For example, here he said that most of the teacher, most of them, they are stuck on stubborn. You know, yeah. People, all those people is saying that 200 years ago, I'm thought like this. Therefore, you know, okay, this is Bruce Lee. Go watch it. Okay, so people is saying that all the sifus, a Chinese kung fu guy is saying that, oh, this is 200 years ago, he was taught like this. So this is Bruce Lee say, okay, just go watch this YouTube and listen to Bruce Lee's direct words, okay? And he said that, this is Bruce Lee said, you maintain that type of attitude, I mean, you will be still back in. You're still back in 200 years ago. I mean, we will never grow. If you just mimic something, okay? You just mimic something, you'll never grow, okay? If we follow the old man, that it is a continual repetition of what is being handed down 200 years ago. That's what Bruce Lee means. I mean that, man is always in the learning process. That man is always, you need to continue learning. Not just replica whatever 200 years, handed down 200 years ago. That's what Bruce Lee meant. And then he talked about style. Style is a concluding and established lead by something, okay? And then he talked about approach. And then he talked about the creating individual is always more important than establish any style. And then he talked about how hard is the expressions of ourselves. Go watch it. Now, so you know that Bruce Lee is against on this, you just keeping being stubborn, saying that, oh, this has been taught 200 years ago. You just do it that way, okay? And you lock yourself into your own domain, okay? And then you never grow. Because the real world is keeping discovering new things. You have to go through different things instead of just continue do repetition. Okay? So you need to, you know, everything is a learning process and so forth. Now, so that is before you talk about style, approach of doing things, and the individual expressions. And here you say, how hard is the expressions of ourselves, you know? So from this, from this, his phone interview, if you carefully listen to what he is saying, you see from Bruce Lee's time until today, isn't everybody is still as what Bruce Lee said? You just following reputation for 200 years. There's no progressing, there's no learning. It's just keeping, Oh, the ancient is the best. My ancestor is the best. My blah, blah, blah is the best. Well, so that is land swimming. Because the world is keeping progressing, growing, and you need to keep learning. So from this, you know, Bruce Lee at that time is only at his 30s. I'm at my 65 now. I live twice longer than him. For a young guy who at 30 years old be able to see this far, he is a super talented people. Okay. And on the Wing Chun, does he love Wing Chun? He's a detailed guy and he said, you know, Chinese Kung Fu, I mean, it is Chinese Kung Fu. Okay, so he's talking about karate and Chinese Kung Fu. There's actually Chinese Kung Fu before karate. Okay, so 50 years ago, 1972, he's 30 something years old, early 30s. He had this big outlook and he's a really realistic. And his experience, that's why he be able to see, to talk about this thing. And do we follow that, what he said? Of course not. Today you can see people be mimicking Bruce Lee. If you look at this, so Bruce Lee right now become the old man. Okay, if we follow, you know, just replace old man as Bruce Lee, that is a continual reputation of what is being handed down 50 years ago. Do you think he want that? Of course not, because that's violating reality. Okay, I mean that man always in a learning process. And then, you know, this is when you talk about the style and approach, you see that he have this big outlook and the systematic and details there. But you look at today's people don't look at that. People don't investigate the essence of the mindsets of Bruce Lee. Everybody want to mimic Bruce Lee. Like in Wing Chun, in Asia, everybody want to mimic Bruce Lee. But how can you mimic Bruce Lee? You just doing repetitions of what he hand out, which is not even what he hand out. Because what he hand out is you think what he hand out until you understood his mindset and you understood his outlook. You really don't know what he's doing. So today everybody is doing exactly what he against, or I shouldn't say he against. He said that, hey man, this is just land swimming. Okay. Now, if you look at Bruce Lee, I praise him. If you look at Bruce Lee, would say General Qi Jiguang. Okay. If you look at this, when Qi Jiguang wrote his book, he said that Qi Xiao refer to evidence-based and effective. Xin Su refer to a book that keep pace with times. It based on traditional method and is not restricted by traditional method. You can see what Bruce Lee say here. So 460 years ago, General Qi Jiguang already say this, have the idea of this, have the mindset of this. This is how Qi Jiguang go fighting, be able to champion China in military. And this is what Qi Jiguang said. There's a common saying, one will not be able to respond to an unrecognized attack. Attack need to be like thunder, sudden strike with speed that allow no time to cover one's ear. As it said, one must attack without resistance or parrying. As soon as one engage in resistance or parrying, one be tangled with many ineffective moves. One need to have a broad combat knowledge and keep on learning. And the one who can predict the momentum trend wins. If you look at this, what Qi Jiguang teaching 460 years ago with what Bruce Lee said, isn't they say the same thing? Or at least the same direction? Isn't that the same thing? The truth never change. Okay, the truth never change. Be it 460 years ago, General Qi Jiguang or Bruce Lee 50 years ago, it's never changed. But you look at today's Kung Fu, today's Wing Chun, what is it? Now, so all the Qi Jiguang stuff is I translated in the book Kung Fu 1560. Sorry, there's no such thing as those Tai Ji, Jing, Fa Jing, internal nonsense, okay? If you want to look for moon, that is the moon, Qi Jiguang and all those things. You see that? It's time independent, be it Qi Jiguang or Bruce Lee, it is keeping learning. You need to know what exactly it is, not just doing repetitions or the older people who teach you, hand down to you. There's no such thing. Is everything is alive. Now, so for the Wing Chun, like Bruce Lee say here, follow the old man's continual repetition. Watch just these two YouTube. Please watch these two YouTube I made. It's worse than that. There is no 200 years hand down. There is all kinds of made up. Please go watch this in detail and scientific evidence and watch this to know the reality of what Chinese martial art is. And all this is based on Qi Jiguang base. So you know how bad it is. But Bruce Lee 50 years ago have already know it. It is a dead end. What he don't know at that time is this is much worse than what he think. Okay? So that's a reality. And in terms of today, we make it into scientific. We can categorize the training of Wing Chun, 1850s. Map it into the science. Like even in the breathing, we know how many types of breathing there. So it is not just doing repetitions, being hand down, and actually have no idea what is going on. Okay, now, why do we need to map all those things to the science? Well, You look at that, man is always in a learning process. That's what Bruce Lee said, isn't it? The world is keeping progress. Now, until you have this, you cannot say what is style, what is approach, and to express ourselves. You cannot have that. Why? It's like you don't have a degree, say a bachelor degree in electrical engineering. You cannot talk design because you don't even have the basic. So if people just go there and talk like Bruce Lee's, no way is using no way as way and a style and no style and all this thing, it doesn't work. Why? Because you are missing the big part of Bruce Lee, the basic of the Bruce Lee, knowing exactly what he's doing. He's not just doing repetition. He knows clearly what he is doing. And he's keeping progressing, keeping learning new things. Only after that you'll be able to talk about my style, this style, and everything. Otherwise, that it's like we don't even have a kindergarten. How can we talk about electrical engineering design? So you look at that, people don't look at the thing what Bruce Lee have, but just they think what they think is what Bruce Lee say, which is not. So Wing Chun is in today's mess, even after 50 years. It's because of this. Everybody is thinking they start with following the old man teaching, which is handed down for 200 years ago, but they are not even sure. And they are bound inside that, repeating things and then using their mind to interpret. Are they Bruce Lee? No, they can never be like Bruce Lee because Bruce Lee don't have this. Bruce Lee know every details. There are many people told me, Hendrik, Bruce Lee doesn't know Cham Kyu Biuji. Who the hell care what Cham Kyu Biuji? Do you have his outlook, Bruce Lee's outlook? Not to mention that your Wing Chun today, after 1870, you don't have the critical component there, namely momentum. You look at Bruce Lee. Okay, Bruce Lee is playing with momentum. And what Bruce Lee do is on the line with General Qi Jiguang. That can be predicted. Okay. So today, all those things can be scientifically tracked. To make sure that we really know something. It's not just to replicate some 200-year thing where nobody know what the heck is that 200-year-old thing. Okay, and they never grow. So go, please watch this YouTube. Listen to Bruce Lee's own words. So again, for past 50 years, you completely screw up. Your Wing Chun is completely screw up because it is based on what you think. It's not based on what Bruce Lee said. And Bruce Lee, 50 years ago, already tell you, those type of style is land swimming. It go nowhere. That's the reality, okay? Now, so all of this, all the breeding and all those, making scientific, quantize the entire thing, make it an education, a basic education is in my book, Decoding Wing Chun. You need that. If you don't have that, there's no way you can develop anything. Just to mimic and replicate stuff. Many people took my YouTube on the 1850 Shiu Lim Tao. Go start an online class, go teaching. Many people complain to me. I said, let it be. Why? Because those people have no idea what it is. You need to know what is the content inside there. Otherwise, what are you doing? So again, it's like Bruce Lee said, you're just mimicking something, saying that claim that is handing down 200 years, but in fact, you don't even know what it is. So how can anything progress? And not, that's why it is better to get scientific today. Everybody have any claim or anybody train anything, you need to check it out with science so that there's a benchmark. We know where we are instead of just keeping talking. Oh, this is handed down for by this guy, that guy, this guy, that guy, all this thing, and are living in a fantasy of the past, and that past never exists. This is how sad it is. So are we really following Bruce Lee? Are we really respect him and following him? If we don't do this, we are not. We just say, yeah, this is Bruce Lee. Oh, Bruce Lee do this inch punch. I do this inch punch demo too. But come on, that's not what Bruce Lee mean. He's just having fun with things. You need to know this outlook. Okay? And keeping doing your set for what? That's why I don't. If you watch my YouTube here, I don't even want to talk about. Oh, I had know this set, that set, or give me 10,000 US. You learn this set. Nonsense. You need to know all these things, or else you couldn't even understand what is the very basic. Not even talking about developing the skill. Okay. Now, of course, again, saying this will piss off everybody. Because I go for the moon, but people like to go their own way on their business, which is we are walking a different path. But you can see what I say, what Qi Jiguang say, what Bruce Lee says is the same thing because I'm following General Qi Jiguang. Okay. Now, one thing about Bruce Lee, we need to be really really considerate. He do his best, but he is not God. He is his own guinea pig. But due to lack of information at his time, and at that time, Chinese is really, this 60 years ago, it is really a close environment. He actually is in all the disadvantage. This YouTube is a very important one on Bruce Lee. This is from Sekin, his memory with Bruce Lee prior to his passing. In this YouTube, I hope that somebody translated into English. In this YouTube, you can learn that. Like I'm talking about breathing. breathing in fighting, in the ancient Chinese martial arts. You can find that Mr. Second is talking about breathing with Bruce Lee, how Bruce Lee breathed. Yes, breathing. So you don't want to just go mimic Bruce Lee's inch power, inch punch. That's the breathing part of Bruce Lee is in here. If you have those basic educations, you'll be able to understand what he's talking about. Another thing on this thing is, from here, you know that Bruce is the person who keep training and training and training. Very serious, extremely serious person for training. And then also using the electrical current to stimulate his body and those things. And second is telling Bruce at that time that second taking a rest, and this is how the Chinese older Chinese speaking. He's actually hinting Bruce Lee to take rest, but Bruce Lee go for it. Well, in today's sports science and in the ancient Chinese martial arts, meaning that Bruce Lee go extreme here. He doesn't have enough recovery. And that you can see is really sad, because in this YouTube, at one time, Bruce Lee told Sekin, he said, "Uncle Sekin, I'm not going to live as long as you." And Sekin tell him, "You need to take a rest, you need to rest down." And so you know that Bruce is hitting a brick wall at the time. And of course, today is 2023. I wish that I can have a time traveling and send this to him. Okay? Because this part, after 50 years later, today, it is a really important part. And so Mr. Second is telling him. Now, so Bruce is a hardworking guy, have a really disciplined, hardworking guy, but lack of information at that part. So lack of the recovery stuff. If he was born today, he would not be like that. At that time, the Chinese know, but the Chinese, sometimes really problematic too. Chinese don't tell people on what is the critical stuff. Most Chinese don't want to be a bad guy. So they'll just talk softly, hinting, but don't go slam down. Okay, hey. So sometimes that, there's a part of the culture which is really sometimes we let things slips out of hand, because the older gentlemen were not saying something harsh or straightforward, and then if we don't pay attention, we don't listen to it. Especially, when, like Bruce, when he's only 30-year old, sometimes we don't listen to that much details. So that's why Nan Huaijing also saying that Bruce Lee trained that he is damaging his qi, depleting his qi. If you look at this, on this qi stuff, this is 1972. You look at his body, his face, his body. You look at his compared with Chuck Norris. You see, this is the first class condition. This is really first class. You know, how can Chuck Norris compare with him? Just look at this. Every muscle, everything. A lot of good strengthening training and fitness training. You can see that. This is 1972. 1973, you see it turned to be like this. Loss, a lot of muscle loss and so forth. You know something wrong already. So you can link it up over here when he told Sakin, oh, Uncle Sakin, I'm not going to live as long as you. It's really sad that nobody go tell him, hey, you know, stop. Get your body back first. You have only 1 year from here to here. Stop for 1 year, get back here. Or else you damage, like last time I told you, once you damage it, you're in a gray area, like the lithium ion battery. Remember, I told you in this YouTube. In this YouTube, I tell human body is like the lithium ion battery. You hit that gray area and you're going to destroy that battery. The body is destroyed. Okay, you can keep training, it's not going to come back. So if you look at that time frame of Sakin speak with him and this time frame for 1 year, this is really critical 1 year. But we cannot go back to the past. We cannot change the past. So that Bruce Lee is a great guy, a talented guy, a hardworking guy, a disciplined guy, but it is a tragic when you don't have enough information. And nobody stand up to him saying that, hey, you do this, okay? Of course, he might argue, but if you really have a point, my take is he will listen because he's a guy who seek for everything, and it's easy to be proven this kind of thing for the Qi, for the nurture Qi stuff. If today we can prove with this with the tracker, and if he met the old timer like Nan Huaijing, you can prove it because today we can prove it here. The reason I go for this, the scientific effect training is a well-defined, measurable, trackable, and repeatable training. Being well-defined means knowing the purpose, nature of the training, its intensity, and its expected outcome of the training. Measurable means being able to measure training intensity. Traceable refer to being able to track the performance of each training. Thus, specific training can be analyzed, corrected can be done if necessary. Reproducibility refer to the ability to repeat the same type of training with high quality. Now we can do that because we have this. 50 years ago, we don't have that. But if you get people who like Nan Huaijing will step in at that time, now I don't even know that they cross the path or not, then it was not difficult to say, well, Bruce, try that. I just need 3 weeks of you. Test it out. So this is what I'd like to share with you today. It is not about me. It is about Chinese culture and it's about you. And it is about Wing Chun and it's about Bruce Lee too. We need to make things constructive. We make whatever happened in the past, we can make it constructive for everybody. Bruce have paid his price. We can learn for that and thank Bruce that he go that path. His mistake is what we can study to avoid. Whatever he do true, properly, on you don't want to just go hand this down and then you repeat. We need to learn from that. He's right on that. He proved to himself, to the world. So this is what I'd like to share with you today. Think about it deeply. If you really want to be a real martial artist, in Chinese martial art, in Kung Fu, in Wing Chun, you need to have the outlook, you need to have the details. And I suggest that everybody go watch that YouTube. You listen to Bruce Lee's words and no longer go mimic Bruce Lee. This is not a movie if you want to learn martial arts. We today can do it scientifically. And as what I said, Bruce do handling about breathing. Go watch that YouTube. I hope somebody translate that, put the English subtitle on what Bruce Lee's conversations with Sakin, Uncle Sakin, and what Uncle Sakin said there. Then you all can know what is in under all the superficial praising Bruce Lee, making use of Bruce Lee to make money. That's fine if you want, but you want to go down. Look at what is the value of Bruce Lee and appreciate the value of Bruce Lee. And if you do that, you will learn that, oh, this is the way how we can make better my lineage of Wing Chun and all my this and my style of Kung Fu. So this is for you today. And as I shared before, those who want to see the moon, this is the channel for you. Those who don't want to see the moon, this is not the channel for you. So it's not who piss off who. We walk a different path. Okay? And for those who in Asia, who walk out from what I say, who take the guy's side, you guys are free to choose what you want to do. I choose mine. I choose mine to present what is the truth of Chinese martial arts based on historical, scientific evidence. It's not about me, it's about Chinese culture.